So it's the end of day two. Yesterday, after that video, I did some rebounding, stuck to the plan, was hyper productive, working till 11:30, got a message at 10:30 saying if we want to play paddle at 6 a.m. So that were random, but turned up, breath work on the way, sharp at paddle, absolutely battered this other team. So that was good. Productive at work, energy levels again good, but crashed about 2 or 3 o'clock. Did have some cravings while we were playing paddle, like bad foods that I'm attracted to, which is interesting how they kind of surface at a random time like that. But it passed once I'd finished playing paddle. Mood positive, full of energy, sharp, acute. Slept well, even though I only had 4 hours sleep. I were having a headache leading up to this, but that's gone now, which is great. My Achilles and all the tightness when I last played paddle last week, that nowhere near as bad. And played for 2 hours as well, so played much longer. But yeah, the body's feeling a lot looser already after a day. Hit all my habits. Obviously with paddle, that's quite intense. Burned quite a few calories doing that. A lot of stretching, so stretched afterwards barefoot on the garden when I got back. There was no real resistance to doing everything. It all flowed nicely. Reading a book about the psychology of money, and I found a couple of interesting things about that and how it reflects in a lot of things that we do in terms of what our experience does to us and our outlook on life. And it was talking about how people who invested when the interest rates were low and more successful, it affected the mindset throughout their life, and they had a different perspective on people who weren't successful because they made those decisions at that time. And then the people who were born during a period where the interest rates were high, then it created a completely different mindset from those people. And then in turn, as they get older, it completely impacted the successors. So it's interesting how certain things externally can have profound effects for the rest of your life. And it reflects in a lot of other areas of life as well when you think about that. So it's not the word victim, but circumstance definitely big impact in terms of your outlook. So it just reminded me that people have different views to me. I shouldn't necessarily see them as wrong, but just understand their experience has been different, and that's why their views are the way they are. So you remove, like, you don't want to condemn. We're always judging. I think people get judging and condemning mixed up. We're always judging, but condemnation of somebody else, that's a different thing. Just try and avoid that, really. Juices. So I did some juicing about lunchtime. I had like coconut water in the morning, coffee, chai tea, but then I had a full watermelon. That's what I've got behind me. Did a pineapple, cucumber, apple, mint, parsley, and coconut water juice. Did a big batch, so probably drank about 2-3 litres of juice today. So yeah, feeling well hydrated. No real cravings, which is mad. So that's been good. It's not really been that difficult. Did have a crash this afternoon. Just rested a bit. And then I thought, right, it's Friday night. Typically now I'd be drinking heavy, binging. So it is a bit different, but I'm kind of enjoying this difference on a Friday night. Got sparring in the morning as well. It's funny how these things come. So I've not tried to play paddle, but I enjoy playing paddle, and then I got the option to. And then I feel like I've not sparred for a while. I mentioned it on yesterday's video, and then put the beacon out in the group after weeks of not doing it. Someone was like, right, 6 a.m. tomorrow. So Saturday at 6 a.m. I'm sparring, which is an unusual thing for me to be doing at 6 a.m. on a Saturday. So that's good. Don't feel as bloated. And just like an overwhelming sense of peace with everything. Just quite relaxed. And there are pressures externally, but they're only pressures because you tell yourself the pressures, and actually you just have to go moment to moment. And the more you invest in your health, the more the frequency in your body rises. Therefore, things externally tend to rise and you see more opportunities. So I think that's what gives you the peace when you do something like this. Every day you're improving significantly, and then it's going to have a significant positive impact on your life. So that's day 2. Not planning to weigh in until day 10. So I'll be interested to see how it goes